technique is the movement. Again, thinking how much am I turning my shoulders, how much am I moving my weight. Skill is more your ability to control something through intention. You're actually telling them or encouraging them to really exaggerate the fault, to explore the fault side of it. And so that can unlock new things that the player hasn't had before. Once you improve your ability to hit different parts of this board, for example.
So let me try that.
Much easier.
Let me try that, Adam.
Okay, we got small ceilings, but yeah, you can do it with a chip shot, definitely.
Yep. I'm gonna get out your gap wedge here,
and you can actually quantify someone's skill. So actually, we'll use this board because the markings are rubbing off. Where I've got 1 inch markings on here. This is the 0. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So try and hit 6 inches in front. So that's around here.
So do a bit of a differential thing here.
Yeah, so you're going to set up there, but you're going to swing back and try and hit here. Now, most people actually miss the board when they try and do this the first time.
I'm 6'4", so I can barely fit in here. So Adam's 6 feet, so that's if you guys are wondering. Don't cheat it from a normal ball position.
Yeah, and actually, interestingly, I want you to still look at the yellow spot. So look at the yellow spot, but intend.
Feel out there. Okay,
yeah,
so 6 inches on the thin side.
Perfect.
Oh,
well,
nice.
almost. That was 5 inches in front. So I would give you a score of 1 for that. So you can start to quantify
between
your
1
skill.
and 10. What do you mean?
Yeah. So for every inch that you miss this by,
I gotcha. Yeah.
So if we were trying to go for 6 and you get 5, you would score 1 because that's the difference between the two.
Gotcha. So your lower score is better.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So a higher skill player is going to be able to hit at their spot every time. So let's hit. What we got? 4 inches in front. Where is it? Here. Here is that 4 inches in front.
Okay.
Spot on.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's a score of 0.
Okay, good.
So okay, now 2 inches in front. So that's here. Again, just looking at that yellow spot.
Oh.
Okay, so that was a little bit too far in front.
Yeah, missed that by
4.
about 2.
So you're up to 3 now, which is still good.
This is a fun game.
Now let's go behind it first. So let's do -2. So 2 inches behind.
Sure.
Good, yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
It's on the back of it, but I'll give you a 0.
Okay.
And then 4 inches behind, is that there? Yeah, around about there.
Oh, I missed that one by 3.
So that was close at the 0, so there's a score of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's try and hit that spot. Bang on.
Missed that by
That was too
7.
far in front, yeah. So yeah, you can find out your weak areas with this as well. You know, if you're good at one and bad at another, you can stick with the weak area for longer. So and that's only one run at it.
Goldilocks would be a little too far,
too
little
far
too
behind,
soon,
too far in front,
and then just right.
Yeah,
like that.
So you can do it really basic, you know, Goldilocks, too far in front, too far behind, right on the spot. Okay. Or you can do it more in depth, you know, hitting each inch and quantifying the difference between.
So you're saying if somebody did this in their backyard with the different board or with chalk or, you know, playground chalk or whatever, this alone would be like huge for golfers.
Yeah, definitely.
You think? And you've seen it?
Definitely, yeah. Oh, all the time. Yeah, when you get players to practice improving the side to side, as they get better doing front and back, then when you retest them trying to hit the yellow spot, their ability to do that gets better as well. Maybe not straight away, not the first time they do it, but over the course of a week, a month, a year, 100%. And so, yeah, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can just go for the yellow spot over and over and you'll see a little bit of improvement. Right. Or if you explore the scale more, you'll see more improvement over the time.
Okay, Adam, how can we do that with lofted impact? You know, a lot of times people don't like that they're stood up like this for the most part. Very few times. Sometimes people are handle dragging like that. Yeah. So, sir, can we do a similar thing with loft? Or
you know what? I rarely do it with loft. You can. Yeah. You can definitely. You might want to take a more mechanical approach for that. It's up to you. But, I mean, how I would do it, I would literally just try to change the loft in varying amounts. So you might start with little short shots, and.
Do you think there's a certain speed that's a sweet spot for learning? Like if you have a 7-iron, you know, in our golf schools, I found like 33% is really good if you're hitting 7-iron, like say 60 yards instead of 170. I found that like that's a pretty good sweet spot for learning. Like too slow becomes a totally different motion, and then at full speed you're really not learning anything. What have you found with that?
Yeah, I think conceptually, like just working on the logical part of it, the slower you go, the easier it is to control, but you lose the physics. You lose the forces, torques, the momentum of the club, so it doesn't
kind of learning a
represent
different
real
skill
swing.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I would just take people up through the gamut of, start off slower, and as you show success, then we start to add on a little bit more speed or more swing size. Or another approach that I use, I don't have any here, but I would blow up a balloon and I would get people to do the movements hitting a balloon. So they're not so concerned with, the actual outcome.
I've seen the same thing with, these are foam, but I've seen the same thing with wiffle balls, because wiffle balls, the cheap ones with the holes in them, they can fly, you can hit it great and they could fly crazy. And people know that. So they're like, even if they're not really concerned about where the ball goes, but it does give you a little reminder of kind of where to put your location. I think wiffle balls are a great tool.
I mean, if someone's struggling to take something from a practice swing to a real ball, if they can make the practice swing exactly how they want it to look, and then you put a ball in the way and it goes to hell, then using the balloon is a good intermediate step. And
how big of a balloon? Like a full-size balloon?
Well, at first a full-size balloon, and then as they can prove they can do it with that, we get a smaller balloon, then a smaller balloon, then a smaller balloon. So there might be 10 steps between practice swing and an actual real ball. And so that can bridge the gap then. And I can see the point where that motion starts to break down. If you start to get too small a balloon and they start to change their motion, they need to stick at that level for a while.
So if people they watch this video and then they go to the range and they want to improve, they found a great way to do it, with foot spray on the mat or the divot board. Let's talk about loft a little bit. You're about to do that before. Okay. So like kind of adjusting the loft on the range, like experimenting with some different lofts.
I mean, I would look at other things. This is probably an area where you might need more of a teacher or a device like this to look at.
To be like, hey, so you launched that one. Where was your launch?
It was 24.8 loft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can say like hit one at 30, hit one at 20.
Well, in terms of one of the things I would look at, if someone was applying too much loft, actually usually they have a low point of their swing that's very far back or not in front of the ball enough. So the low point of the swing is if the club is traveling down, 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 it then reaches the low point, and after that point it starts to travel up.
Right.
So what you could do if someone had a very shallow angle of attack, for example, and they have a high loft, I would actually change the angle of attack first, because they tend to tie in together. I would get the low point of the swing in the right place first, which is tied into angle of attack. And usually that would bring down the loft as well.
Okay.
And so one of the ways you can do that is just looking at the middle of the divot on the divot board. Sure. So getting the middle of the divot to be farther and farther forward, or you get in a bunker and you just get that person to get their middle of their divot farther forwards.
Sure.
And then if it's not contacting the ground in the right place, we would change depth.
What's another way that you really like to, we're talking about building skills, and another way you like to have people not think so much about the technique, but improving their skill as a ball striker?
Doing the differential practice is probably the best way. So, I mean, to define skill and technique. Technique is the movement. Again, thinking how much am I turning my shoulders, how much am I moving my weight. Skill is more your ability to control something through intention. So, for example, if I want to hit this shot more out of the toe, I've built the skill to be able to do that. And so when we look at that shot, you'll see it's out of the toe, probably about 10 millimeters or so. Lucky these clubs are very forgiving, so it's still a decent shot. So I wanted to hit on the toe, and it was 12 millimeters on the toe. Likewise, I'm actually going to use a foam ball for this, because if I shank it, then Brendan's going to be killed, but a foam ball is okay. So if I want to hit this more from the heel, and obviously the foam ball is going to fly off a little weird.
But it'll still tell you the strike.
Yeah. So it's going to tell me the strike, and that is 19 millimeters on the heel. So I went 15 millimeters, was it 13, 15 millimeters on the toe, 19 millimeters on the heel. What did I change there? I changed what I intended to do.
Right.
Now, obviously, a lot of people listening to this are going to be thinking, well, how does that even work? Well, you have to build these skills. So the way that you would build that skill, you start at the very basics. First, you need feedback.
Sure.
So you would get some spray on the club face. So Dr. Scholl's foot spray, Dactarin if you're in the UK. CVS brand is the one I use. That's the cheapest usually.
Yeah. They sell it at the dollar store.
Yeah, well, this is Strike Spray. So
this is the official.
It's called Strike Spray. I think it doesn't change the spin rate as much as other ones do. So you get a nice little coating there, and it might ruin the or not give me the full feedback.
So let's try to put 3 marks on that thing. Actually, just 2 marks, but let's see a toe one and a heel one.
Okay, toe and heel. So yeah, I'll set up here. I mean, a really high level of skill is if I swing back and you call out toe and heel, and I can change it.
Well, you're a highly skilled golfer, so I'll do that for you.
I haven't practiced that one in a while. I'm going to do toe at first for this one, or try to. Yeah, that's toe.
Great.
And then
you can use your foam ball. You can still use your foam ball.
I tell you what, I'll go for a heel. I try not to do it too extreme.
I'm getting back here, Mike.
I might be a little frightened for this one.
Put my shortstop mitt on here. Oh, nice.
Actually, that was okay. So that is heel side of center, but that's like 3 millimeters.
Right.
3 millimeters heel side.
Yeah, a little worried about the shank.
I was a little scared. Yeah. So I mean, and that's an important thing as well. When you can't change something, sometimes the reason why is a fear of overdoing it. Sure. So say, for example, you have a slicer, and I ask them, can you present the face more closed at impact? They'll give a few attempts, and the ball will still slice. And then I say to them, come on, really do it. Like, really close the face. Like, send it off the planet left. And that one, they do it.
Even though you told them to close the face, they still have a straight shot in their mind.
Exactly. And so opening, that's where differential practice comes in, because when you're doing differential practice, you're actually telling them or encouraging them to really exaggerate the fault, to explore the fault side of it. And so that can unlock new things that the player hasn't had before.
That's what we want to unlock, that other level of a golfer that's inside of all of us. Okay, if you guys are interested in seeing more videos with Adam, be sure to click the subscribe button to this channel, Be Better Golf, because we're spending the entire a couple days here with Adam doing different videos. And Adam, we can learn more about you. Maybe your website is the best way?
Yeah, adamyounggolf.com is the place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a free ebook there about stuff, and a lot of cool free content on there that I think you guys are going to like a lot. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Okay.